Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Random Talks, where we talk about many different things so that you can practice your listening skills. I'm Teacher David with you as usual, and with me is my dear friend, Teacher Carlos. Hello, teacher. How are you?
Hello, guys. How's it going? I'm doing fine. I'm doing good, actually. I'm excited about today. Very interested. Very interested. And yes, let's get it started already.
All right, thank you. So, before we start, remember to follow us on every social media. We are on the main platform, YouTube, and where else can they find us, Teacher Carlos?
You can find us, guys, on Facebook, right? We're always posting, right? Everything that you can see there. Any announcement also from Columbus, you can actually check it there. And also in Instagram. On Instagram, you can find us. You can find some clips of the podcast, or you can give us a like on the pictures and everything. Comment. You can also find us in TikTok as well with Teacher Pablo. Amazing content, very good tips or hacking a little bit your English, right? And we are also on Google Podcast, right?
Mhm.
Where you can find every episode, right? Ordered or even by name, right? You can find them. And
Yes.
also remember, we are in all of our social media as Columbus School BCS. All right.
Exactly. Well, thank you so
Very
much.
good.
Thank you so much, Teacher Carlos. And well, with no further ado, we are going to start with the topic um, that it's going to be really interesting because, we would like you, for all of the people who are listening or watching, to master their English and really have confidence in it. And for that, I'm very excited to introduce my dear friend Renata, who is going to be here with us. Hello, hello, Renata.
Hi guys, how are you?
Really, really good. Thanks for asking. And thank you for being here. Thank you for taking
No,
the time.
thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So, a little fun fact about Renata is that we go way, way back. Actually, she was one of the first people who I taught English. I don't know if you remember Renata, a long, long time ago. So, she's going to talk about having confidence in ourselves, which is, I think, especially nowadays, I don't know, Renata, if you agree, that because of the situation that we are living in, I think it's really, really difficult to really believe in yourself and maybe start a new project. So I would like you to start with that.
Yeah, I think nobody in the
Mhm,
world expect that we were like living this
mhm.
situation with the
Yes.
COVID. I mean, it's just something that no one expects.
Mhm,
And yes, I agree with what you said about it is difficult
mhm.
to start a new project, to believe in yourself, to be motivated about things, because of all of this. But one thing that I learned in this I mean, almost a year.
A year,
I
yeah.
was I was going
Mhm.
to say a few months, but now it is a year.
Mhm,
Yeah.
So I was like very sad, we can say,
mhm,
and without motivation. But I was thinking about like, okay, we are going to live like this. I mean, we have vaccines and everything right now, but uh, we are going to live like this. I mean, hopefully, I believe that we will,
Get
uh,
back to it.
yeah. But anyways, so um, I was going to a therapist, so
Mhm,
she teach me some things, and she told me that I need to find like something who inspires me. So that's one that will be my advice.
mhm.
So if you're not motivated, so you need to find something that makes you feel like a little bit of that.
Mhm.
So for me, it's reading and find books about something like there is a book that the name of the book it is. I'm going to say it in Spanish because I
Yeah,
don't know.
sure.
Okay, El Poder de la Hora. I
Mhm.
don't know if in
Okay.
English is the same one, but
Mhm,
in Spanish is that was the title. So these books, sorry, teach you about to live in the like in this moment, this
mhm,
and enjoy that moment, and that's something that teach you how to enjoy. I mean,
mhm.
life and the moment. And so
Yes.
in this way you can feel like motivated and try to do things that you like, and just I don't know if I
Yeah, 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 sure.
Yes, yes. One thing that comes to my mind actually is the fact that probably is related with art, right? Somehow we are all of our all humans. We have this little of artistic way of thinking, right? So I think it is very important for humans to be creating things all the time, right? To keep motivating yourself in some way. You're going to be creating something or somehow, right? And whenever you don't find that thing that you are creating is when you start feeling demotivated, right? When you start feeling that lack of motivation. And nowadays, as you mentioned, with the situation of the pandemic and everything, that we have to be locked in our houses, right? That we hope you are actually doing it because it's very important. Um, our possibilities were reduced by a lot, but still, there is something about having so much free time that leads you to use social media even more, right? And being distracted all the time. And I kind of related to that, to the overuse of social media. Before the pandemic, we already used social media a lot. And now that we have more time or we look for things to distract ourselves, we are like too into social media, like looking at someone else's creations, right? So that kind of demotivates us a lot. So I would say it's related to that. So it's a combination, right? To finding something to do, to actually do that you like, and that can motivate you to continue and learn more.
Exactly. And especially because I think, well, what I have seen is that Renata is really, really active in social media. So, what would you say, Renata, that has helped you in um, not falling in that thing where you know, when you're scrolling through a lot of profiles, that you start comparing yourself,
Oh my God,
right?
that's
So, how has that worked for you? Like not comparing to the other people that we see in social media.
oh, that's a good question. Um, well, I used to do that, and
Mhm.
sometimes when you know, some days you just don't feel like mm, not yourself, but you just feel like kind of like down.
Yes.
But I mean, sometimes, so some days I used to do that,
Mhm,
but because of that,
mhm,
but I try to not.
mhm,
So my advice, we can say my advice, is that um I mean, every human being is different.
mhm,
So everyone, I mean, yeah, everybody's different. So that's what I learned. Like when I saw something that I was like,
mhm.
oh my God, she's like, we can say better than me, or she's
Yes.
doing
Mhm,
like something else, or she's doing like something that I would like to do.
mhm,
So yeah, like comparing myself to another person. But then I thought like, well, I can do this like in a different way, or I can do it like better, we can say, like with
mhm,
my own thoughts and
mhm.
everything. So yeah, so when I compare myself to something in the social media, I just think like, oh well, I can do this like different in my own way.
Mhm.
So yeah. Mhm.
You know,
Right.
probably our first mistake or our first error when we are on social media is understanding progress as a linear way, right?
Mhm.
You know, we sometimes understand progress this way, right? Like a straight line,
Uh-huh.
right? But sometimes, you know, every person is just like this little point we are here, right? So
Mhm.
I believe that some people go a little bit like this, and then up, and then down, up. They go back again, they go back, and then
Mhm.
there's a progress. There's another ones that go like this, up, 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 and then go completely down. So the problem comes when you start comparing, when you are here, for example, right?
Mhm.
You want to be here and you see somebody else that is already there. The problem is if you start comparing and making contrast where you are and when the other person is, is when you start doubting about yourself. And also, this is probably because we were used to the system or the educational system of grades.
Mhm.
You are in elementary, middle school, high school, then you are in university, and normally you find people and you see people from your own generation all the time, and then you follow the same line, right?
Mhm.
And once you finish university, or even before finishing high school, everything starts to diversify.
Mhm.
Everyone takes off differently, and the problem comes when you start comparing that progress to your progress. It's a different process, a different life, a different existence. So being exposed to social media, it's dangerous because we normally show success in social media. We don't show failure. We don't show the hard part or the tough part of life in general. I don't show when I'm struggling with my anxiety of not going out, or stress or scared because I don't want to, get the virus or something like that. We don't share that. We share success. When you buy a car, when you have a child, when you finish your career, when you get your degree, and we don't see the real thing. We don't see life as it is. So that's the problem. We think that everything is about success, but no, it's the whole process behind it. And not criticize that part, and being able to see that, understanding that my process is different to others people's or other persons, right? Or other friends.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, that's when you have to be like smart enough to understand it as it is, and follow and concentrate on your path, right? Well, that's
Right.
what I think specifically with that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And talking about that, what you're saying, teacher Carlos, Renata, my next question would be like, when you are going to post something, for example,
Mhm.
um, do you, or does it come to your mind all of these thoughts that teacher Carlos is saying, that, oh, maybe people are going to think that I'm this way, or what do you want to present to in social media?
Oh, well, um, mm, for example, in my Instagram, I
Hmm.
don't think about that because my photos are like from like the sea,
Hmm.
or you know, not from my degrees, or
Yes. Hmm.
I don't know how to explain that.
Hmm.
But it doesn't come to my mind on that. But on Facebook, sorry,
Okay.
is where I post like the things that I'm proud of, the
Hmm.
things that I work a long way to like get it.
Hmm.
So oh yeah, I feel like um for example, when I write something about like if I'm going to upload a photo and then I'm
Hmm.
going to write something like uh,
Yes, like
over there.
edit. Hmm.
So that's when I think about what is going to think like my, I don't know, uncle or something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah. So but but what I learned is that if I like something, if I want to share something, I'm just going to share it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if what is going to think. I mean, my uncle or
Hmm.
mhm,
Your family, your relatives.
my relatives. Yeah, my family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Facebook
Yeah,
is
and
and
very familiar, right?
what?
Facebook is really familiar now. It's like where you
Mm,
have your actual family members.
yeah, exactly. And I agree with you. Because of the what you explain about the line,
hmm,
because that is very true. We always share the good things when we travel, when we get something, and we don't share the whole experience, the whole work, or if it was hard. And so, yeah, there's a word, there's a phrase, I think so.
hmm,
Quote.
It is like social media is fake, and that's so
hmm.
true.
Yep.
We just share what we think is going to be like um I mean, it's not the real life. That's what
Hmm.
Hmm.
I want to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, when people talk about, or this theory in which they state that human have different masks, right?
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
switches. It's pretty much take into account probably Instagram is one mask, Facebook is another one, because you start like even I've been wondering why younger kids, they have two Instagrams. They have a normal one and they have a one that they write as, or that they acknowledge as the private one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, we are like segregating different family members or people, or just like personalizing, customizing the content that we provide to the people that are actually going to look at it, right? Because as far as I know, because I follow you on Instagram, is the same way, is the same that I do, is like posting art or art related stuff like artsy or your craft. In my case, is my photography specifically, right? And you leave probably Instagram stories for interacting with other people, or to actually share what's going on at the very moment, right? So that's where actually it comes, right? Because people are more worried about what others are saying about us, or
Mhm.
what others are doing.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And talking about content, um, another thing that I know and that I have seen some of your videos, Renata, on YouTube, is
I
that yeah, that my question is going to be that, like, do you have a specific vibe that you want to transmit in on YouTube, or is just like whatever you think you post it?
No, yes, I haven't like a specific thing. I mean, the
Mhm,
videos, I mean, the content we can
mhm,
say is different, because sometimes I make vlogs and sometimes I make like tutorials,
mhm,
but the the important thing that I want to share is that you can feel comfortable with yourself. You can do whatever you want. You don't need how can you say, sorry, my English is kind of like
yeah, yeah, no worry.
how can you say aprobación?
Like
Approval.
approval. Mhm,
What do you say?
approval.
Yes.
Approval. Yeah, you don't need the
Yes.
approval of someone. So that's my main thing to like share on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, and that's beautiful, and it's something that we would like for the people that are watching or listening to take of this episode, right? That you can be yourself, that you have to be yourself in order to be happy, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's your social media. It is supposed to be the things that you like and the things that you do. And if people like it, they will follow you.
Hmm.
When did it start to become something that you will post because the others will like it, instead of concerning first about your things and then you see what the others will think? I mean, like, that's what it is. The It makes me think, because seems like, the popular kids now are the ones that have more followers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's
exactly.
part of it.
Yeah. And I guess one of the last questions that I would like to ask you, Renata, is what, like, main advice would you give people who maybe are struggling with maybe learning a different language, or maybe are struggling with the confidence to speak in that language, for example, English or any other language that they're learning? So what would be your advice for them to have
Oh,
more confidence?
uh-huh. Well, I think everyone, I mean, we learn different languages. I
Mhm,
mean, everyone in the world learn everything, something new. Sorry,
mhm,
and like when you are talking to, example, so I learn English,
mhm,
and then I try to improve my English, like talking to someone else, but it makes me nervous because of my pronunciation, or
mhm,
maybe I don't know some words, but in the way that I see it is that if you ask something, it will be fine. I mean, if you get like wrong in some sentences or
mhm,
something, it's fine. I mean, they are going to understand you, and they maybe will tell you like, oh, you can say like this, not like this, and that's fine. It's part of the of
The
learning
learning, yeah.
something new. So I know that it doesn't feel comfortable when you don't know like something and you
Hmm.
feel like, oh, I don't know that.
Yes.
But you can ask, and yeah, that's fine. I mean, for me at this point is, for example, right now I'm going to put myself right now.
Oh, of
I'm
course.
like nervous because you are teachers and you know like a lot of things, so you teach English, so it's kind of like scary.
Mhm.
But like I ask you,
Yeah.
what how can I say this,
Hmm.
and it's fine. So my advice will be like um wait, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um okay, my advice will be that you can feel comfortable because you are learning, and as teacher Carlos says, um, the learning is not like this, it's
Hmm.
going to be like this, so it's fine to get something wrong, you can ask. And that's the important thing, that you don't have any doubts, so you will learn something new about that, like you, I
Yes.
don't know if I explained
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yes. And
and
uh-huh.
me or you.
No, you go.
As I see it, yes. Even though and we really appreciate this, and I can tell you as a teacher that we really appreciate whenever a student or somebody that is trying to learn the language actually puts him or herself in a situation in which
Mhm.
is a little bit uncomfortable. Let's put it like this, taking into account that you're going to be stepping out of your comfort zone, right?
Mhm.
And that step out is pretty much what actually makes you improve your skills, and skills and knowledge give you confidence, right? So in this case, of course, we really appreciate that you accepted the invitation,
Yes.
right? And you are putting yourself in a situation in which you have to use your language. If you don't know something, you can ask, and that takes a lot of confidence. And we have to learn about, or we have to learn from people that are able to be that resilient to say, okay, I'm learning and I can ask questions and I can learn through those questions and take that, probably that a little bit of insecurity that you may feel, and turn it into something that will make you understand better or even learn even more,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly. Yeah, and we appreciate a lot your participation here, that you accepted our invitation, because ultimately that's what we want for every person who is learning a new language, not just English, just any language, that they take your advice to ask questions and to be confident when you're speaking or when you're using the language. So I would like to thank you very very much, because I think that it's going to be really really useful for all of the people that are watching or listening. So thank you for the time, and thank you for accepting.
Thank you for the invitation.
So there you go, guys. We were with Renata talking about confidence and how to learn to appreciate ourselves a little bit better. But before we go, we would like to remind again all of our social media. So please, if Teacher Carlos can help us with that.
All right. Well, as mentioned, guys, remember Columbus School BCS in every of the social media that we are about to mention. We are on Facebook, sharing all of our contents, right? To go ahead, watch it, like it, share it. And we are also on TikTok with Teacher Pablo. Amazing content. Go ahead, watch it. Very nice hacks for your English. You can also find us on Instagram. We are very active, checking your likes, checking your comments. Feedback is very important as well for us. So go ahead, give us some comments, recommendations, anything that is going through your mind, put it there in the comment box. And we're also on Google Podcast, where we are posting everything, right? You can find us as Columbus BCS, as I mentioned.
Mhm.
And of course, we are on, I think I'm missing one, YouTube. Yes, I forgot that one.
Mhm. Yeah.
You can subscribe, give it a like, share it,
Comment.
and yes, comment. It's very important. We read them all the time.
Mhm. So thank you, Teacher Carlos, and thank you, Renata, for being here, for taking the time to talk to us. And we hope that you come back for another topic,
Yeah,
hopefully.
that would be great.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for your time. and we're gonna see each other really, really soon with new different content for you. Right? So bye bye.
Bye, guys.